How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and this one going over my top 5 deck choices for the UW series format. Now, if you didn't know, Bandai this month announced that they're going to do a new kind of event called Game Fest, where you get some pretty nice things for entering and doing well. So like you get things like you got a participation set, which are like stamp stuff, which hopefully is like the final stamp, not like the ever kind of stamp things we got, where it's just got the I think Gen Con kind of fest, where you just got the stamp and it's not foil. It'd be nice if it's like stamp with foiling as well. So we get a participation set, you get a vault set, which is like certain battle cards and extra cards, and then you get a unison set, which has got some really good relevant unisons. And as well as that, you get event pack 8 and 9, and it's a nice thing that they showed off what's in event pack 9, and there's some pretty good cards in it. And with that, they also did announce, as I mentioned in my previously DBS video on Sunday, that they come either in alt art or alternative background. Now I think that the background is just for the event pack, and alt art will be for the ever cards. And it looks like a really good event. It's going to be for every region, and it's going to be pretty good. Hopefully it's going to be in person for most events. Like I think someplace like Chile, they've got theirs as webcam, and hopefully ours in the EU, well in the UK, is in person. Like if it's not in person, it will probably be a webcam, but it'd be nice to have it in person. And unfortunately, they've put it as the format being UW series, so most people, I'm guessing, have been enjoying playing with their normal decks, having stuff even from outside the UW series, and not many people have got to test this. So it's going to change a little bit, because there's actually, if you look at it, there's quite a few cards that you can't use, like some strong ones that are used normally in most decks. Like for example, you got the Champa and Kai, the ones that give double strike on the swing. You also have Bean, Fu, Shrouded. You have like the Sparking Negates, like Dimension Magic and After Image Technique. You also have things like Ribrian and stuff. So there's quite a few cards that was before the UW series format are still relevant today, and they're not accessible in this format. And so due to that, I wanted to give my thoughts, my top 5 choices on for each, one for each color for this format that I think would be useful. I think it'd be a good choice. So starting off with the first one, go for red, and my pick for that would be Red Jiren. Now, before I go into the reasons why for this, most people probably say that there is also Red Broly, and also there's the new U7 Goku that's pretty strong. Now the thing is, with Red Broly, it's a very linear strategy, and as you can see in the side deck, there's Mecha Kabura, the Broken Seal. Now this is a card that back in I think set 11 and 12 was like a common side deck for almost every deck, because decks at that point were very linear and had like certain plays want to do, and that card shuts them down. So like with Red Broly, if they get to a certain part of the chain and it comes to your turn, you can play this, call the level and card of the next part of the chain, and then they cannot go up forever, which hindered them for a whole turn and give you a little bit of leeway to basically just clap them down. And with the U7, that's why I prefer, in my opinion, Red Jiren to be a lot stronger than Red Broly, even though Red Broly is still a strong deck. I'm not saying it isn't, I'm just saying Jiren is my preferred choice. And with the U7 Goku, it's not out yet. It'll be out a little bit before the event, so you won't have much time for testing. Like you can still test on untap and stuff, but you won't have much time for properly testing. And it also doesn't get access to After Image Technique, which is actually a really good card. And Red in general just loses some really good cards in the form of Broly, Crown of Retribution. Because with this list, it's similar to what you normally see for a normal Red Jiren deck, but it unfortunately doesn't have access to, as I said, Red Broly, Crown of Retribution, and also doesn't have access to Koitsukai to shut down floodgates and negates. But they're not that much of a problem in this format, because you can have things like Toppo and stuff. You still have Mecha Frieza, but you still have this Vegeta here. Vegeta resolve for you, so when you get to turn 3 and go for your kill turn, like the big 8-drop Jiren, you can use this to stop the mecha from being played, so they paid an energy, they negate the attack still, but they no longer get that floodgate on board. And as I said, you've got replacements for things like Saiyan Kaba, like I used to run in my deck, with the new Trunks Journeys Begin from, I think, the last set. And you get the new card Realm God's Ultra Instinct, which is quite cool. And now every deck needs barrier removal, because in this format still is the yellow Lord Slug, which you can drop, and luckily for this deck you've got the big 8-drop Jiren as a way to get through things with barrier. And you still got good secrets like Kai, it's got Fight Against Fate and stuff, and there's still the counter plays, good super combos, and Piccolo. So I think this is what, like, almost what I'd run. It also, remember, it's all subject to the ban list, because we still haven't been issued with the updates to the ban limit and errata list for set 16, because Bandai released one before every main series set, and we haven't yet got that. So this is take this with a grain of salt. This is my choice depending on what happens to the ban list. But I don't think red's gonna be hindered that much, in my opinion. But as it for red, with red Jiren, and then for blue got hit a lot. So my preferred deck of choice for blue, if I would have run blue, would be Blue Bojack, because while it does lose quite a few things, it loses Bean, it loses through Shrouded, and Turning the Tide is its like finishers, and yeah, it does also lose that set 7 drop area negate, but it still has quite a few good tools. Like, it still has very strong unison in the Boo being the best unison blue, and then for barrier removal it's also got the Go Tanks, which then helps with its awakened condition, and it is the deck's much needed barrier removal, or destroy if you want to. And it's still a very archetypical deck, like most decks in the UW format. So it's got all the Bojack stuff, and you've technically got 4 free 10Ks in the form of the 8-drop and the super combo Zeno, which also gives you that untapping without untapping, which is pretty good. And you still have Baby Hatjack as one, like, a very powerful secret rare, along with Galactic Buster being an obscenely strong card. Now, you do get also some things you could probably like add into slots that would normally be through Bean and stuff, with SS Kaba being a pretty decent one for a blocker and an attacker. You also do get Realm of the Gods Spirits Destroys, as well as like the pseudo Goku's Kamehameha if you need be. And with the side deck, you just, like, I do have a side deck for each of the decks as well, as you've seen with the Jiren, to go over some things. Like, you got Golden Avenger if you want to push, if you do manage to get an 8-drop Broly the stick, and then you swing with it on your turn, you got the energy open. Baby allows you to push through a negate, and have a triple striker on a 30k triple striker as well. And you have some useful things like you got the new Goku SS Goku negate as well, which allow turn 3. Can you get at turn 4 a lot easier to then drop your unison, and then more of the SS Go tanks to help for more barrier removal if you need it, and then Boojin to help with things that are high cost energy. But that's my list for blue, for Bojack. And then we go on to green, and green is going to be quite easily because it's King Cold. King Cold is, once again, like as I said with most decks in UW format, they're quite thematic, archetypical, and not like, just like with Bojack, not much. Well, the other ones, not much change from the standard list they use in the normal format, because with King Cold you lose access to Paragus super combo, but you got a decent enough replacement in the set 11 super combo of Great Saiyaman, and you do also lose some massive for extra hand destruction of battle cards that stick and stay there after making use of that charismatic when you drop it. But I feel like we're a good replacement for that. You can use the Gohan, which I've put in aside, because I've over that I've put in the Ginyu negate, because not only is it just a negate for 1-drop, because you're going to be establishing your unison turn 2, so it's always going to be a 1-drop as long as you can keep that unison alive, but it also allows you to recycle Berry Blue if you do lose it, because Berry Blue is a very strong card. Just keep you every turn reusing an extra card, fill card from the drop, keep getting your draw from your leader and the effects as well. And with this version, since you can be a lot more aggressive as well, because you can just keep up using Anticipated Onslaught to pump out the 4-drop freezes, because they're dual attacking, and with the Terrified Realization become 25 dual attackers, which is good pressure. And you got a very strong Floodgate secret rare in the Boo Kai Absorbed. And for a secret rare I chose, no, it's not secret rare, the overall one I've chosen is Secret Identity, because well, you can switch this for Fighting Against Fate, but I feel Secret Identity is a lot more useful in the form of removing things on board, which this deck can do counterplay with Charismatic, but it can get rid of a board of weenies, which sometimes Yellow can drop. And once again, every deck needs barrier removal because that Slug's about, and we've got the Golden Freezer, so free drop to remove it and get yourself some more swings with it as well, some more pressure. And for the side deck, you still have access to Rosie, so you can still got that pseudo rib around if you want need be. You do have Blue Impulse still as well to wipe your opponent's board if you play something on your turn, and then the Boopo, or the Boo negate, Floodgate negate, if you want to switch that Ginyu out for that. And you still have Gohan for extra barrier removal as well. So in all, I feel this could be a strong contender, and it did win the King Cole did win the UW series side event at the US Nats, so it is proven to be a good one in this format. And now for Yellow, most people will go for Gohan Icarus, but I've instead gone for Sin, because as I said at the beginning, this is all subject to the ban list, to the update to the set 16 list. If they hit much, and Yellow has been such a strong format deck for a while, and with Gohan Icarus, it won most of the nationals for last year. It also won Worlds as well, and it's just insanely strong, like too powerful and too generic. So I feel like that some things from that might be a hit. I don't know what, because I don't know really what you can do with Yellow, because it's just so generic. It's hard to like choose what needs to be hit really. So I've gone for Shincharon because the 9-drop Shincharon is absolutely busted in this format, because just shutting off skills for the turn and being hard to get rid of. And if you do get rid of, they get cards. They get 2 cards, 2 new cards, and the 1-drop back to start the chain over again. And you can drop it as early as turn 2. Plus having a very consistent archetype in the deck with all the Shadow Dragons interacting with them pretty well. And while the deck does lose Caller counter, you can still play the long game if you know like this list is going for the focus on aggro, but can change its pace how you feel. But you still do have access to a Power Super Saiyan for a bit of defense as well. You do have the Bardock Overwhelm, because you don't care about your drop much apart from dropping the TP Omega to put some more pressure on, and you have Dragon Thunder as like a defensive option to give you a 5k boost, and which you can even play for free if you like tap yourself out, at least tap free or something. Would once you get free energy or more, and also can have the effect to get through things with barrier. And why it doesn't have any barrier removal in the deck, because barrier removal for Yellow is more in the form of Final Flash, being able to negate the effects of something and not worry and just carry on doing what you want to do. You can still run over things and just stomp them, and since the Slug has to be rest, dropping the 9-drop Sid, you can just always try to run over it with like big things as well. They can do a lot of swings over it. And if you do negate your skills and they do swing with it, unless they're dropping it, I think Haze is more than energy. Let's double check. I know it's more than energy, but is it the same? Yes, it's greater. So unless they hardcast a Slug, which isn't going to hinder you if they hardcast it, you could always just, and you got the 9-drop on board, you can just negate your skills, they swing with it, to some rest ready for your next turn. You doesn't just Haze KO it. But if they do hardcast it, they've then got to run into a Shincharon, so you're not too worried about that. And the good thing about this is you can transition into control as well with your sideboard, because you can side in, like I put 4 Mecha Kabur to go to do more control aids, so you can waken on turn 4 as the Sin did back when it was first released. You also, since we don't have Nimbus, you have the replacement in Forbidden Power, and then you have the new fantastic card in Realm of the Gods, Black Kamehameha, for extra defense to get a free control strategy. And along with that, Oceanus to help untap blockers, to help defend more, and Tyrannic Blow as a good counterplay. And if you want to do a good way to get yourself to turn 6, you also have the Freezer Divine Transformation as a good turn 5 play. And it's a FL. And lastly, we have Black. And Black is going to be a real easy one. It's Gogeta Zeno. It's probably the best Black deck at the moment in the format, and it's still a strong deck in UW format. It's just 14, being able to drop turn 2, and it's just stupid, and it can still do that to this day. Now you do lose some overarm options in the two trunks, the one that you could get for free off leader if you warp it, and then warp and or overarm it, comes back to your hand so when it goes to warp at the end of the turn, so get out of recycling. Now you do have a replacement for that in Mirror. Like, it's not too much of a replacement, but it's at least a free drop. It's easy to get a overarm free in the deck because you can just combo something like a Kai that you want, that's in your hand that you want to put to make use of in your warp. Combo that to put that in the drop. Then Union Fusion to put 2 from your warp in your drop, a Goku and Vegeta. Then you have 3, and you can drop this just to get a 350k swing, and then have the auto, which does get you a bit of value and help you set up by, when it's played, drawing a card and then warping a card. So you can draw a brand new card and warp something that you have in hand that you want in warp. And then like that we've got Mirror. Like, if you really do fear Sin, which is a possibility, or you control Sin in anyway, and you do fear the U7 new red U7 Goku, you can do a split of 3 of this and 1 of the, I'm trying to think of it now. It's the Dark Shenron, that Unison, which can draw you a card and warp something from your opponent's drop area. You can have that to help control decks like a U7 Goku, just to get the 8 drops out of their warping from their drop, so they can't have access to them. And you do have also 10 of each Vegeta and Goku to help with your Union Fusion, being for Goku 2 of the strong 1-drops and the 6-drop overarm. That's useful to get back Union Fusion, the Union targets. And then you have Vegeta, you have the good 1-drop, one that helps yourself awaken, super combo, and the 6 overarm to go with the Union Fusion for the Vegeta 6-drop, because with Union Fusion they still have to be the same power. Then 4 of each of the Go-Cheetahs, and then 1 of the SS4 because it's a strong card. And also Black does also get now support of the Dark Empire, which is Black now has a token negate, so that gives this deck a bit more of a defensive option to help defend for the next turn. Like, they can put on a lot of aggression, then defend a lot easier with this card. Then the side deck is just standard like good Black cards, getting extra support of Dark Empire. We lose Super Kamehameha as well. We do lose a few things for this. We do Super Kamehameha for the deck, the Black Gohan, and I think there's something else, but I can't remember. But Black Super Kamehameha does have a kind of replacement in Rebellion Hammer. Well, it isn't free. It stops at least a 4-up drop or more, and it's easy to get it down to 1 cost because you just need 12 more black cards in your warp, which you can easily do with the leader. And yeah, it's very easy to get this set up to help stop floodgates as well. And then you have Pan Zeno, which is a very good secret in this. You can switch this to Kai depending on what you want, but I feel Pan Zeno is a very good one because you can flood the board with stuff and then to make it a 0 cost. That is it from my list for UW format. They all have a side deck. You can all tweak them if you want to. It's easy enough to just tweak them, but these are the ones that I think will, for each colour, that will probably perform the best. Now that's just my opinion. It also is subject to the ban list to see what changes, because some of them might be a hit, we don't know. But if you did find this video useful, helpful, and did enjoy it, then feel free to leave a like. If you do have any comments, like maybe you've got a different opinion to me about what's good or any card choices, feel free to hit me up in the comments. I'd love to discuss it to get the improve and like make more lists for the UW format. And lastly, feel free to subscribe. It lets you know when my videos are, lets you see all my videos when they drop, and by clicking the notification bell when you are subscribed, it gives you an alert for when my videos do drop. Now that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.